Hello, this is Max. Today you will hear a story about a man with hypnotic abilities and how he manipulated people. You can subscribe to the channel after watching. It helps us a lot in realizing the content. In the opening scene, we meet Danny Rourke, a detective from the Austin Police Department, who is currently attending a therapy session. During the session, he reflects on the traumatic event of his 7-year-old daughter, Minnie, being abducted, which ultimately led to the breakdown of his marriage. Danny was at a park, watching his daughter play, when he briefly got distracted. When he turned back around, Minnie had vanished. The person responsible for the abduction was caught but not charged due to being considered mentally unstable. After the therapy session, Danny is picked up by his coworker, Nix, who informs him about an anonymous tip they received regarding an upcoming bank heist targeting a specific safe deposit box. Nix explains that there have been recent bank robberies involving the same bank but different branches. However, this particular robbery is strange because the thief is specifically interested in a safe deposit box that doesn't hold any money. Upon arriving outside the bank, Danny and Nix enter a police van to maintain surveillance on the people inside and outside the building. During their stakeout, they notice a mysterious man named Dellrayne, who possesses an extraordinary ability to easily hypnotize people. This power is demonstrated when he hypnotizes a woman, causing her to feel so overheated that she removes her clothes on the street. Dellrayne proceeds to hypnotize bank employees and even police officers, who obediently follow his commands as he enters the bank. Sensing that something is amiss, Danny swiftly exits the van and enters the bank, pretending to open a bank account. He quickly makes his way to the deposit box room and unlocks the targeted safe. To his surprise, he finds a photograph of Minnie along with the message, "Find Dellrayne" written on it. Meanwhile, Dellrayne stands in the line at the counter when the bank security guards suddenly erupt into chaos. Simultaneously, he hypnotizes a bank employee, who then heads into the safe deposit room to retrieve the targeted box. Danny points his gun at the hypnotized bank employee, ordering her to freeze. Despite his command, she disregards him and continues her search for the targeted safe deposit box. The hypnotized security guards also enter the room and shoot at Danny, causing him to collapse. Fortunately, his bulletproof vest protects him from harm. After this incident, both the employee and the security guards leave the bank and get into a van, planning to escape. At the same time, the woman who experienced extreme heat earlier stands in the middle of the road, leading to several accidents, including one involving the van carrying the employee and the guards. Shortly after, Dellrayne retrieves the safe deposit box from the deceased bank employee and plants a timed bomb before making his getaway. Danny, accompanied by 2 junior detectives, spots Dellrayne and pursues him. They eventually corner him on a rooftop. As the 2 detectives approach to handcuff him, Dellrayne uses his hypnotic abilities to manipulate them into firing their weapons at each other. He then jumps off the building, disappearing from sight. After the chaos subsides, Nix arrives at the scene and informs Danny that all witnesses have no recollection of the events due to the effects of hypnosis. Convinced that the heist is somehow connected to his daughter's disappearance, Danny takes it upon himself to investigate. On the same night, Nix contacts him with the results of a trace on the previous deposit call. Without wasting any time, Danny goes to the specified location and discovers a therapy facility owned by a fortune teller named Diana Cruz. He explains his purpose to her, and they engage in a conversation. However, when Danny mentions Dellrayne's name, Diana becomes scared and urgently tells him to leave. Unbeknownst to them, Dellrayne lurks outside the facility and hypnotizes a man, making him ride a motorcycle through Diana's window. Following the incident, Danny takes Diana into protective custody and proceeds to question her. Diana reveals that both the bank heist and the recent incident were orchestrated by Dellrayne, who exploits his supernatural abilities. She explains that Dellrayne is a hypnotist with the power to manipulate and control minds using a psychic bandwidth. When Danny asks how she knows so much about hypnotics, Diana discloses that she is also one of them. She and Dellrayne underwent training in a covert government hypnosis division that aimed to harness mind control. However, Dellrayne surpassed them all and turned to evil, seeking to gain control over the entire country. Nix, who is present during this conversation, dismisses Diana's claims and thinks she is joking. In response, Diana hypnotizes Nix, compelling him to step outside for fresh air. She reveals that Danny has a strong immunity to mind control, possibly due to his severe depression. Diana had tried to hypnotize him earlier but failed. Meanwhile, Dellrayne appears outside the police station and hypnotizes Nix, ordering him to attack his friends. As Nix enters the investigation room, Diana senses something is wrong and suggests they escape. She explains that Nix will remain unconscious until he fulfills his task. Despite Diana's advice, Danny tries to restrain his friend, handcuffing him. However, Nix persistently tries to reach for his gun, ignoring the pain from the handcuffs. When the situation escalates, Diana takes Nix's gun and fatally shoots him in the head. News of Nix's death quickly spreads through television broadcasts, and Danny and Diana are portrayed as the culprits. With no other options, Diana suggests they travel to Mexico, where she knows someone capable of stopping Dellrayne. Danny is skeptical but agrees due to the circumstances. In the next scene, the duo finds themselves at a local coffee shop where a sheriff enters and recognizes them. Before he can react, Diana hypnotizes him. Simultaneously, Dellrayne contacts Diana through the sheriff's walkie-talkie, causing her distress. As Danny and Diana attempt to escape, Dellrayne arrives with two hypnotized police officers. Just when it seems like they are about to be apprehended, the previously hypnotized sheriff arrives in the nick of time and saves them. During their journey to Mexico, Diana discloses to Danny that he possesses a psychic block that makes it more difficult for hypnotists to control him. However, Dellrayne is the exception and can overcome this barrier. As they approach Mexico City, they encounter a police patrol, but Diana skillfully maneuvers past them using her abilities. Eventually, they reach their destination and meet Jeremiah, an old friend of Diana's from their time in the division. In their conversation, Jeremiah reveals that Dellrayne is searching for Domino, a powerful weapon developed by the division that can manipulate any hypnotist in the world. The Domino project was divided into pot and stored in safe deposit boxes across multiple banks. If Dellrayne retrieves all the pods, he will become unstoppable. Unexpectedly, Jeremiah requests the picture of Minnie that Danny acquired earlier, raising suspicions for Diana. Soon, it is confirmed when Jeremiah transforms into Dellrayne, having used his abilities to disguise himself. Danny and Diana quickly flee the scene, with Dellrayne giving chase through a complex hypnotic environment. Officers and civilians join the pursuit. When they are cornered, Danny taps into his own hypnotic power and takes control of the police officers, directing them to capture Dellrayne instead. After averting the danger, Danny is filled with confusion and struggles to comprehend what he just did. Diana is also bewildered, and they decide to seek assistance from River, a former friend and secret hacker from the division. Arriving at River's hideout, they explain their situation, and River agrees to help. He delves into Danny's data using his hacking skills and makes a shocking discovery. Danny's wife, Vivian, is actually a member of the same hypnosis division as Diana. While the three are discussing this revelation, Danny receives a call from Dellrayne, who attempts to hypnotize him over the phone, instructing him to eliminate Diana. Remarkably, Danny manages to resist the hypnotic influence and hangs up. Later, while River and Diana are asleep, Danny personally investigates the database and uncovers something shocking. His daughter, Minnie, is revealed to be Domino, the dangerous weapon, and Diana is none other than his wife, Vivian. The room around him starts to unravel, indicating that all the previous events were mere hypnotic constructs. It becomes clear that Danny had been under hypnosis throughout the entire journey. Diana emerges and reminds him that he was the one who took their daughter away, driven by the desire to protect her from the allure of the hypnotic realms. Shortly after, Danny awakens in a large room filled with division agents, including Nix and Dellrayne, all of whom he recognizes from the constructed scenarios. Fearful, Danny rushes out of the premises and stumbles upon the props and materials used to create the illusion, realizing that everything was fabricated. His memories of Minnie's whereabouts have been wiped by the division, who orchestrated these experiences to trigger his recollection. Once again, Danny is subjected to the same hypnotic construct, reliving the therapy session and the bank heist. The events unfold as before, but this time, as he reaches the point of entering the bank, Danny taps into his own power and breaks free from the hypnotic spell, escaping the grasp of the division. In this moment, both Dellrayne and Diana realize that the message in the photo, "Find Lev Dellrayne," does not refer to a person but rather to Deer Valley Lane, the location of Danny's foster parents' ranch, where Minnie has been hidden for the past 3 years. After driving to the ranch, Danny reunites with his no-grown daughter, Minnie, in a heartwarming moment. However, their joy is short-lived as Dellrayne and his team arrive, armed with weapons. They ruthlessly gun down Danny's parents. In the next scene, Danny and Minnie exit the house, evoking strong emotions in Diana as she sees her daughter after such a long separation. Meanwhile, the division surrounds the ranch, but Minnie uses her overwhelming hypnotic abilities to force them to kill each other. She then compels Dellrayne to commit an unthinkable act. Finally, it becomes clear that Danny and Diana were the most powerful members of the division in the past. When they discovered that their daughter, Minnie, possessed even greater strength, they opposed the division's plan to exploit her. Instead, they chose to protect Minnie by erasing their own memories and hiding her with Danny's foster parents. The photograph found in the safety deposit box was actually created by Danny himself as a way to remember where his daughter was. In the present, Minnie assists her mother in recovering her lost memories. It is revealed that Danny and Diana patiently waited for over 3 years for Minnie to fully develop her powers, enabling her to single-handedly defeat the entire division. With their ultimate goal achieved, the family reunites and decides to live happily ever after. However, in a surprising final scene, it is unveiled that Dellrayne cunningly survived the earlier shootout by disguising himself as Danny's foster father. So, what do you think of this movie? Write your thoughts in the comments under the video, and also do not forget to put a like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.